Hey, what's up, guys? So today I want to talk about the Myers-Briggs type indicator. Is the Myers-Briggs valid? First of all, what do you think? Are you for it? Are you against it? Do you know of any good books or videos for or against it? Let me know in the comments below. So first of all, I've taken the test and I'm supposedly INTJ. So one of the things you'd expect, I guess, according to what the YouTube videos say about INTJ, is that I would question the test, right? Well, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I've come up with some things, and I just want to share those with you. First of all, the Myers-Briggs test doesn't really represent the percentages. When you take this test online, it'll give you, for example, if you're extroverted or introverted, it'll give you a percentage. You're this percentage introverted, this percentage extroverted. And some people may interpret those labels to the extremes. For example, okay, let's say somebody is INFJ. People are going to think extremely introverted, extremely intuitive, and so forth. But really, they could be somewhere right in the middle, like barely INFJ. So it seems to me like it only really represents our leanings. You lean this way, lean that way, but that simple label, once again, doesn't really tell at all how much. And for those reasons, I think most of the YouTube videos about the types don't really accurately represent, or can, I don't think they can really accurately represent what a certain type would be like. So let's look at some things that this Myers-Briggs test might be useful for. First of all, I think it can point out your strengths. It's good to learn what those strengths are and develop and strengthen them and use them. I see it pointing out weaknesses as well. So we might ask the question, what is a weakness? And I would say anything that causes harm or makes life more difficult than it needs to be, such as having a problem with being able to communicate, being afraid to talk to people. You know, we need to talk to people. We need people. So that is a problem. And I would call that a weakness if you're so far to the extreme of that introverted side. I'd like to point out that before we ever took this test or before we ever knew what it was, we didn't like our weaknesses. And we shouldn't like them now or accept them either. I just want to say that those things are not changeless. We can grow. For example, I like to do things myself because I know the plan. I know how it all should go, and I don't want to necessarily explain and teach somebody. That takes a lot of effort sometimes. And you might say, well, what's wrong with that? I can give you a few things that are wrong with that. First of all, it takes my time. It takes so much of my time. You know, I don't want to have my nose to the grindstone like that all the time, having to do it all myself. Another thing is that it's less productive. So I can get way more done, save myself time, be able to do other things if I just put forth a little bit of effort to be able to communicate with people. I know how it all should go, and I know how to say. I know how to teach somebody how to do it that way. So for the sake of my time, for the sake of productivity, I have to get over those communication difficulties. Obviously, that's a less effective way, okay? And because I see that, I see I'm doing something that's less effective, I need to throw it out, okay? I just talked about how that plan I have, I know that plan. Well, I need to make a new plan, and that plan needs to encompass other people's strengths and weaknesses and a plan for teaching and communicating and showing how it can be done and accepting that it may not be done perfectly or in order, but look, I will still get far more done, save far more time by including other people in my plan. So that really is a weakness that I have, wanting to do things myself, and I need to work on that. Another thing I want to point out is that some of the types, the description you see on YouTube and that is that they can be blunt, to the point, and insensitive and stuff. Well, let me tell you, the MBTI doesn't give you a license for that either. That is a weakness. That needs to be worked on. You can change, and you should. Now, I have a special word for the INTJs according to the test out there. Look, this type is called the mastermind, right? Thinking, planning all the time. Well, look, if this test is the real deal, and you're the real deal, you should have a lot more to talk about than what it's like to be you. There's a whole lot of that going on. Look, if you're really insightful, if your wheels are really always turning like that, please give us that insight. Don't just tell us what it's like to be you, so other people like you can feel comfortable with themselves, or so that you can just accept that the MBTI is a license to kind of be unpersonable and so forth. And oh, here everybody, I'm going to be impersonable. The MBTI gives me a license, so this is what it's like. This thing says what I'm like, and you just have to accept it. So I just want to say, this test does not define your life, and especially YouTube videos about your type, they don't really define you. That's not who you have to be. That's not the real you. The real you is made up of your thoughts, your experience, your level of intelligence, and all these things. So at best, I think the MBTI points out a couple of things: strengths and weaknesses. You should use your strengths and you should work on your weaknesses. Once again, let me know what you guys think. If there's anything you want to add to that, let me know. If there's anything that I got wrong, let me know about that too. You know, some of the best ideas I have are not just my own creation. I don't believe there's any such thing as ideas being my own creation. It's all based on experience. And you know, some of the best stuff I might have to say might be built on some of the best stuff you have to say. Until next time.